Okay, welcome. So this is going to be a little bit unusual as I'm going to be giving a class to the camera. So I'm going to just go ahead. It just seems for various reasons folks can't join in, but I know some people are up for the recording. So I'm just going to go with that. So I'm just going to do the plan as intended. So do enjoy the video. Um, it's been really lovely the last few days here in Sri Lanka. The sun's coming. I've been planting a little vegetable garden, put some pumpkin seeds in yesterday, and we're working on seeing if we can build a shrine room, which you might have heard about. So, and yeah, I mean, one of the joys of living here is having a bit more time in the mornings to practice yoga. So I'm going to be sharing some of the practice that I'm doing at the moment. Well, I'm doing it upstairs normally after drop the kids off to school. Anyway, enough said. Let's just get into it. It's going to be a class based around standings and then some inversions. Okay, so I'd like us to start with a short meditation. You could sit on some gear if you want a bit more height under the hips. We're just going to have a second or two or minute or two to tune in. So I know some people are enjoying doing this at the weekend, maybe when you've got a bit more time. So I'd just like you to, first of all, settle in to your pose, meditation pose. And we're going to touch into these 5 dimensions of awareness, which we teach in Bodhi Yoga. The first and second aspects of awareness you can consider to be interchangeable. So it's becoming aware of the sensations in the body, particular areas in your body. And then at the same time, being aware of the whole body all at once. So there's a sense of whole body awareness. And then within that whole body awareness, aware of different areas, perhaps, which are calling your attention. So you may notice some tightness or soreness. In some parts of the body, I'm noticing a little bit of tension there in the lower back, the right side. So the first 2 aspects of mindfulness is the whole body and specific areas of sensations in the body. So getting a sense of that, you may notice some areas more than others. Areas might be more neutral. That's fine. And you're going to come into awareness of the heart, the sense of emotions. So some of us feel the emotions in the heart center quite literally, or in the belly, and chest. I just want you to ask yourself, how am I? And then 4th dimension here is aware that all is change. So we're characterized by this process. That is life, that is death. Our experience is constantly changing. Nothing fixed. Nothing permanent. On all levels of our experience. This is such a powerful teaching from the Buddhist tradition, becomes very relevant when we become aware of illness or death. But you can also be aware of it moment to moment in your everyday experience. Want to change. And then becoming aware of the breath. So the breath, I'm just going to go with the easy breath today, just breathing freely through the body, through the belly. And being aware of these 5 aspects or 5 dimensions of mindfulness, which we draw directly from Satipatthana. It's like a version of, or a simplification of the 4 foundations of awareness of Satipatthana. So first of all, the body, looking at sensations in the body and the whole body experience. Then the heart, mind, chitta. And then dhammas, which is this quality of impermanence or change. So the breath awareness also sits into the first foundations of Satipatthana. So just in your own mind, making a dedication, you're going to dedicate the next hour or so to your yoga practice. For your own benefit and for the benefit of others. Opening your eyes in the next exhale. And we're going to come up to standing. We're going to stand towards the front edge of the mat. So we're going to face out towards this new window that we put in. So I'm going to come into a simple sun salutation. I'd like to start with your feet hip width apart, parallel. Depending on the space you've got around you, on inhale, you're going to draw the arms up. Exhale, fold into your legs. Folding the knees a little bit. Inhale, take your right leg back. Coming into the low lunge. Exhale, we're going to swing back to all 4s and then drop down. On the exhale, come through Bhujangasana. Inhale. Exhale, release down. Inhale, force back and up into dog pose. Lining up your head with your upper arms. So now the right foot comes forward as in a high lunge. Taking the gaze forwards. Sense of length from the back foot to the ground. Inhale, we step our left foot forwards, fold into the legs. Exhale. And again, depending on the space you've got, sweeping up. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, back to Tadasana. Half sun salutation on the right side, bridging inside. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left foot sweeps back. Coming into a low lunge. Sense of lengthening through the front of the body, long spine. Exhale, ground, whirl your palms. Flow back to all 4s. If you want, dropping into child's pose, long arms. Inhale, we sweep forwards and down to a low back bend. Bhujangasana. Exhale, release out. Inhale to all 4s. Exhale, up and back to dog pose. So I'm including the sun salutation this week, as last week we went straight into standings. Okay, so this week we're going to do a little bit of warming up through sun salutation. So the whole idea, one of the basic ideas of sun salutation is to create a little bit of warmth and fluidity in the body. Inhale, we step the left foot forward to the high lunge, nice long base. Gaze forwards. Inhale the right foot up. Exhale, fold into your legs. My feet are hip width, and depending on your space, sweeping the arms out or up. Exhale. Into pass. So we'll do one more time on each side. Inhale. Turn. Exhale. Fold. Inhale, right foot goes back into the low lunge. Again, sense of a long spine, pelvis level. We're challenging here the front of the right hip. Exhale, back to all fours. If you want, dropping back to child's pose with the arms long. Inhale, all fours, and we drop down. Separating the feet a little bit, grounding the tops of the feet, the pubic bone, lifting through the front of the body, low back bend. Keep the elbows in. Exhale, release down. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, push back and up to dog pose. So my heels are just off the floor. There's a sense of moving back into the space behind me through the hands. So we're creating length from the palms, through the wrists, through the elbows, through the upper arms, shoulders, through the sides of the body, into the sitting bones. Gosh, I've lost track. Start with this right foot comes forwards, high lunge. Inhale, back foot comes in, parallel feet. Exhale, fold to the legs. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, Adrian. And then last round on the opposite side with the left arm. Folding into your legs with the exhale. Inhale, left foot goes back. Opening the front of the left foot, left leg, sorry, left hip. You can be on the fingertips, but you might feel more secure on the palms, grounding the palms. From his sweep back to all fours. Child's pose with the arms long. Inhale to all fours. Exhale, drop down to the floor. So you could try this pose with the feet together, legs together. Makes a slightly tighter line down through the medial line as you inhale, lift to Bhujangasana, lifting through the front of the body. So this helps to strengthen the spine. Really important pose, worth including every day in your practice. Exhale, release out. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, back and up, or up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left foot forwards. High lunge, long base, sense of a long base. So we'll come back to this pose a little bit later on with some standings. Keeping the back leg lifted and active. Inhale, right foot comes forwards. Exhale, fold to your legs. Inhale, sweep out the arms up. Exhale, I'm going to turn towards the camera now. Could be bring your feet together, trying to stay where you are. Sense of growing the spine. So you should feel the body now a little bit more stimulated and active. You're going to come into a series of standings because this is a real kind of classic standing sequence. Bringing the hands to the hips, lifting through the front and the back of the body, growing the spine. I want you to turn out the left leg, placing the heel just above the right ankle. There's a sense of turning out your left hips. This can be done really gently, gracefully. We're going to then try and bring the left foot higher to the opposite leg, to the right foot. There's a sense of pressing the foot to the inner leg. We can then take the arms, as sort of like two branches of the tree, getting a sense of balance. Put the gaze towards the horizon and reach up, growing the spine. Sense of lengthening through the whole length of your body from the sole of the foot to the fingertips. Breathing now. See if you can draw yourself into the medial line. So sense of drawing in your right hip so you're not hanging out to the side. So drawing the right hip and then release that. Hands back onto the hips. Turning out your right foot. So I'm really spreading the toes on my left foot. First position is really just a sense of creating poise, balance, alignment, so we can lengthen up through the spine, lifting your right leg as high as you can, left into the inner left thigh. And again, just gently moving your left hip in to its own joint, as it were, towards the right foot, and then reaching out through both arms. Sense of balance here. And then from there, reaching up through the arms, can bring the palms together. I quite like to cross the thumbs with this. A sense of pulling up through the medial lines from the center line. Still spreading my left foot. Sense of poise there. Inversions-Two. Exhale, dropping the hands down, dropping the foot down, back into Tadasana. Sense of growing the spine from here. So we can do some jumping. If you're in the mid space in your mat, like I am, we can do a very sort of Iyengar style jumping. If you're at the front edge of your mat, you just step back. So inhale, you jump back and open it across the base. Both arms coming towards shoulder height, reaching out. Bring your feet parallel. Want to be aware of the backs of the heels in line with each other. As you exhale, bend the knees and tip forwards over the front of your hips. Bringing the fingers down, fingertips down underneath your shoulders. So most of your weight is still in the feet. So my hands are quite lightly touching the floor. And then from here, there's a sense of releasing from the tops of the hips towards the floor, the upper body folding forwards, legs active. Padottanasana, Prasarita Padottanasana. This is wide leg stretch. Really great for opening the backs of the legs and releasing the spine. We're approaching an inversion here. The head is going lower than the hips. The head is lower than the heart. Breathing there. On an inhale, you can walk your fingertips back forwards, up underneath the shoulders. I suggest you bring your feet in a little bit and bend the knees to float up with the arms. And then release back to Tadasana in the center of your mat or to the front edge of your mat. Breathing that long spine. Taking a moment just to come into your center. A more classical Tadasana with the feet together now. So just to have a sense of balance here, I'm going to turn around. So if you're at the front edge of the mat, you step back. Step back, the other foot, turn around. And take your arms again to shoulder height, and then drop the hands to the hips. Again, backs and heels in line with each other, lengthening the gaze up, lifting the chest, bending the knees. Going to release forwards over the legs once again, but this time the hands stay onto the hips. More intensive work on the legs. Again, we're approaching inversion. So the head lower than the hips. Breathing there. You can relax the face, soften the face, elbows going wide, chest open.
this is too strong on the legs, you can always take the hands to the floor to take some of your body weight. And then on an inhale, release the hands to the floor, bending the knees, floating up. And we'll step back to the front of our space. Coming into Tadasana, either feet together or feet hip width. Gently on the hips, the feet lined up with the hips. Exhale, palms together, inhale to step to your right. Long distance between the feet here, hands to hips. And it's now going to be useful to have a cork brick or some bricks. I'm just going to bring a cork brick to the left foot and turn the left leg completely out. Okay, 90 degrees. My right toe's a little bit in. And I go for a wider base, even. Wider base, take the feet a little bit wider. Taking the left arm out, I'm going to reach back, open laterally to the right. So I'm opening slightly to the right. And then exhale, bend the front leg to bring the forearm down onto the left thigh. You can look down towards the floor, lining up the knee and the ankle. Sense of long through both sides of the body, reach out through the right arm and across. And I can take the gaze up and under the right arm, if it's okay on the neck, sense of opening out the chest towards the ceiling. Keeping the back leg active, back foot grounded. Breathing here. So this is a version of Pajvakonasana, Salamba Pajvakonasana, because it's supported. Got my left forearm supporting the left thigh. If your balance is tricky, just look down. Inhale, come back up. And then I'm going to turn to the opposite side. So my right leg goes out fully 90 degrees, left hand to the left hip, and I reach back to the left now, opening out the right side of the body, bending the right leg, looking down to begin with. My right knee comes underneath my right knee comes over the right ankle, not overshooting. Depending on how it feels in the neck, I can keep looking down or not, reaching up and across, possibly looking up. Sense of one line from the left foot to the left hand, opening the chest, rotating, using the pressure of the right forearm on the thigh to lift into that. Inhale back up to center. Turn back to the first side, so the left leg turns out. So this time we're going to use the brick. So I'm going to bring the brick onto the inside edge of the foot, okay? Again, going for a wide base. Reaching back to the right, opening the left side of the body. Exhale back into Shalamba or Salamba, Pajvakonasana, and looking down. So this time I'm going to bring the left hand down to the brick, or if that's easy for you, you could just go to the floor. And then use the pressure now on the inner leg and upper arm to open the chest, possibly taking the gaze up, a bit more intense pose, closer to the floor, taking your right arm across. Again, length from the right foot to the right hand. If it's too intense on your neck, looking down. Sense of spreading and lengthening the toes. It's intense work for your left hip. So you'll feel your left leg working, left thigh, left hip. On an exhale, dropping your right hand down. And from there, inhale, reach back and lift up to the center, feet parallel. Bring the brick across to the right side. Again, nice wide base. Get the more space you've got in the hips. the wider the base. We don't want to overshoot the knee over the ankles. We're taking the right arm up and back, opening the right side of the body. Exhale, bending the front leg, bringing the knee over the ankle so you can look down to get that alignment. So this is to keep an even pressure through the knee. Sense of stability in the knee joint. And then from here, we're going to bring the right hand down to the brick. If this pose is really tricky for you, you can have the brick on the end of a block. So you've got a higher stance there, which is going to be easier on the right hip. And then we'll take left arm and cross, possibly looking up underneath your left arm, depending on how it feels in the neck. Doesn't feel stable, doesn't feel good in the neck. Pose doesn't feel stable, look down. Now we've got this resistance between the inner leg and the right arm to create some space, create some action, as we like to say, in the right hip. And then from here, dropping the arm down, take a pause there, looking down. On an inhale, pulling back up with the left hand. Take the brick out of the way for a moment. Feet parallel, and then we'll step back to the front edge of the space. Just coming back into Hola. So I'm just going to come back to the center of the mat. From here, I want you to extend the arms up, reach up and fold at the forearm. So we did this last week. Bend the knees. You can let your knees drop forwards now. As we release over the tops of the hips, head of the femur, release forwards and down. Folding forwards, and then explore straightening the legs here. So you can straighten the legs. It may help to take your feet a little bit wider. Explore straightening the legs. Again, releasing the upper body over the legs. Releasing the hands towards the floor. Floating up on an inhale, long spine. Okay, I'll just show that from a different angle. So inhale, taking the arms up. Interlacing the forearms, bending the knees. You let the knees drop forwards. In this case, they overshoot the ankles. We're not putting so much loading into the knee joint, so it's less aggressive for the knee. And then you're folding over the tops of the hips, releasing the upper body down towards the floor. Releasing the neck, the face. Upper body releasing, exploring then, straightening the legs here. So you're opening the backs of the legs. You will feel tightness in the hamstrings, in the lower body, the lower back. That's fine. Letting your body release forwards. From there, release the hands to the floor, bend the knees. Coming up the long spine. All the way up, floating up. Long spine back into Hola. And then we do this last breath. So inhale, taking your arms up again. Exhale, bending at the knees. And then releasing the hands forwards. And placing the backs of the hands onto to the floor and feet up into the palm as high as you can. Called Pada Hastasana or Hastapadasana. Hasta is hand, Pada is foot. And you can explore again, straining the legs. You've got more resistance now because the distance is somehow shorter. So we're bringing the hands underneath the feet. Explore straightening the backs of the legs without forcing. Releasing the upper body. Releasing the neck. Again, exploring movement towards an inversion here. head lower than the heart. Releasing the upper body towards the legs. From there, I'd like you to release out the hands, ground the palms, walk back. Coming into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, coming into dog pose. Opening the backs of the legs, the upper body. Lengthening, pushing back from the hands, through the shoulders, through the side body towards the sitting bones. From here, inhale, walking your feet forwards. Feet parallel, they can be together or separate. Exhale, inhale, releasing up, long spine. So we're going to have one more standing pose here. Or Pajapasana, I should say. So I'm going to bring the hands to the hips. Set your right foot medium distance back. So it's like a short to medium distance. The hips now stay centered and forwards towards the short edge of the mat. And this is a more intensive stretch for the legs. Okay, so again, we can lift the gaze and chest, sort of opening up the heart, the sky. You can bend subtly the front leg as you then fold over the tops of the hips, releasing forwards. Bringing the hands, right hand down first to the shin, left hand on top of the right, or vice versa. Explore the lengthening through the front of the body. Still with the front leg bent, back leg can be straight. And then explore folding towards your front leg. If you want, take the hands towards the floor. Releasing towards now the left leg. You feel an intense stretch up and down the back of the leg, particularly the calf, the back of the knee. You work into the hamstrings. But see if you can release the upper body, release the neck. If it's more convenient for you to stay higher up, bring the hands up onto the shin and then just work from there. Okay. Keeping the back leg straight and exploring straightening the front leg. Okay, we'll interlace this with a movement. So bringing the palms down, we step back to dog pose. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Head in line with the upper arms. Walking forwards. Feet parallel, folding into your legs. Inhale, long spine, floating back up to Uttanasana. Hands to the hips and step your left foot back, medium to short distance. You can remember this sense of the tram lines, so the feet can be on different lines, coming forwards, back hip width. Taking the gaze up, up. Releasing the front knee. So releasing the front knee is going to allow you to fold more easily from the pelvis or rotate more easily from the pelvis. So from there, I'm going to take the arms up and release forwards over the head of the femur, the front leg, releasing forwards, bringing the left hand down, right hand down. Noticing the difference between the two sides of the body, then you can explore lengthening forwards first and engaging more strongly the right leg, straightening the front leg, possibly taking the hands towards the floor, releasing the head, the neck, coming into this a forward fold. It's got element of inversion in the sense of the head lower than the heart. But you're going to feel this mainly in the legs and around, particularly around the back of thigh, calf, on the front leg, the right leg. Connecting with the sensations here. From there, we're going to ground the palms, step back, dog pose.
Inhale, coming to all fours. Exhale, I want you to drop back into child's pose and completely release there for a few breaths. Releasing the head, releasing the neck, releasing the legs. And then from there, inhale to all fours. And I want us to do a little bit of work of toning and strengthening the back. As I said, this is a pose which I really recommend bringing into your practice every day. So we'll drop down to the floor. Bring the feet about hip width. Tops of the feet on the floor if you can. And then the hands back, more or less underneath the elbows. And then we'll do this dynamically. So we're gently pressing the tops of the feet towards the floor. Pressing the pubic bone towards the floor. And then on inhale, lifting into Bhujangasana, elbows in, gaze forwards. You can lift as much as your body allows. Exhale, release down. But staying low, keeping the belly on the floor, and then we can repeat that. Inhale, lifting. Try not to push with the hands. Lifting with the back muscles. We'll do that 3 times. Inhale, lift. Coming up. If you want to check if you're using your hands too much, lift the hands off the floor and release down. Inhale, coming to all fours and rest back once again into child's pose. Completely softening that. Taking a moment to feel whole body awareness. Also tuning in with the specific sensations, okay? Probably can feel that we've just worked the back muscles. We'll just do that sequence one more time. At this time, intensifying the work on the back by changing the hand position. So dropping down, feet can be hip width, pubic bone down. So I'd like you to interlace your fingers around the back of the body. And then as we lift on the inhale, you're pressing the backs of the hands away from you, lifting the arms, as well as the chest. So we'll do head centered. This really guarantees not using the hands to push. So inhale and lift up, keeping the tops of the feet down, lifting away from the floor. And then exhale down and repeat 3 times. You can lift your thumbs away from the buttocks, lifting up. So just work with one breath there. So as you inhale, you come up. As you exhale, you go down. One more time. Back to child's pose. This time, if you like, threading the arms through the legs. So you get a little gentle pressure on the upper arms from the inner legs. Releasing the head. Either resting it centered or to one side. And then to the other side. From there, releasing out the arms, coming into child's pose, but this time with the hands resting on the back of the sacrum. So a little bit of a transition pose here. So Vajrasana, as it's called, as we inhale, we sweep the arms out and lift up. Reach up. You can take the arms up or into the cactus shape. Exhale. Release down. So just show that angle. Vajrasana. So we use this quite a bit. Inhale, reaching up, taking the gaze up. Exhale, releasing down. Smooth transitions. with the breath. So your inhale, we'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, sweeping down. In, sweeping up. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, I'd like you to sit up onto your feet. Sweep the arms forwards and palms together. Interlacing the fingers, push through the palms now, squeezing the elbows in and reach up into Parvatasana, mountain pose, lengthening from the sitting bones towards the palms, gaze towards the horizon, squeezing the elbows in. Exhale, release down, change the interlace. So it's like you switch the other index finger on top. Pushing away on the exhale, inhale, reaching up. It's a very simple pose, but really good for opening up the shoulders, preparing the shoulders for the inversions, the shoulder balance sequence, which we're going to move on to. Exhale, releasing down. Arms back together, and then extend both arms forwards. And then we just bring your right elbow into your left, wrap the forearms. Bring the forearms perpendicular to the floor. And then lift it. It's like you're lifting the elbows, the upper arms, the chest, taking the gaze up. Again, lifting the heart towards the sky. As you exhale, release down. You can look down even, allow chest to fold in. And one more time, inhaling, lifting the chest. You feel this pulling on the outer shoulders, space between the shoulder blades. Exhale, release to center now. So the elbows are about shoulder height. Forearms towards a perpendicular. And release that out. I'm going to switch sides. So the left elbow to the right. Forearm. So my left elbow on top or on the inside. On the inhale, lifting the elbows and chest. On the exhale, closing down, sense of closing into my center for a moment. Pull the shoulders down. Shoulders away from the ears. One more time, lifting. Lifting the elbows up. Gaze up. And then come to, as it were, the neutral. That's like neutral. So the mid position, so the elbows about shoulder height, upper arms, forearms, perpendicular to the floor, upper arms parallel to the floor. And release. From there, come forwards. To stretch out the backs of the legs, you can do that one leg at a time. Or into dog pose. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And then just a little bit more work. So these poses which I'm including in my daily practice, a little bit more strengthening work. So I want you to bring yourself down to your forearms now, palms together. Feel free to not do this. And then we extend the legs back, coming to a low-ish plank. Gaze forwards. So this does get easier with regular practice, creating strength in the upper body, around the upper arms. Shoulders creating a sense of tone through the body. And release down. Let's just try one more time, but this time lifting the hips high, coming into a dolphin shape. So the forearms are down, my head is not on the floor, I'm lifting away from the floor, palms together,
opening the backs of the legs. Breathing there for a few moments. Lifting away from the floor, inhale down. And then from here, I'd like you to come down onto your back. Coming into semi-supine. And it will be helpful to have the cork brick later on, or possibly these foam bricks, which I mentioned, sort of stackable foam bricks, okay? So I'm just going to get them nearer. Okay. So, first of all, coming into semi-supine, I'm just going to do a little bit of movement to begin with. This is just slow everything down. Coming into semi-supine, I want to become aware of the pelvis. And I'm going to do a very gentle rocking of the pelvis. So as you inhale, you're rocking the pelvis away from you. So you're taking weight towards the tailbone. So it's like you're arching the lower back, accentuating the lordosis. And as you exhale, rock the pelvis back towards your head, flattening the lower body towards the floor, even lifting the tailbone off the floor. Now we'll just do that a couple of times. Inhaling, rocking the pelvis away from you, rolling the pelvis away. Antiverting the pelvis, exhale, retroverting the pelvis. So you're rolling the pelvis back, flattening the lumbar. You can do that a few times. Maybe it's not so obvious in the video, but you're rocking the pelvis away. Inhale, rolling it towards your knee. Exhale. It helps to mobilize the lower body, particularly bringing awareness between the legs, the pelvis, and the lower back. Try that a few times. Okay, next time we inhale, we're going to roll the pelvis away from us, but also lift the pelvis and lift the arms. Coming into the bridge, down. As you exhale, just come back to the floor. This time a more neutral pelvis. So you don't need to especially depress the lower spine towards the floor. So you could do that. Inhale, rocking the pelvis away. Let things through the waist area. Arms above the head, softening the neck. Exhale. Release back down to a more neutral semi-supine. Repeat. You might want to bring your feet closer to your hips, closer to the buttocks. If you find the feet drifting away, do this 2 or 3 more times. Inhaling, coming into bridge. Exhale back. Attentive to your neck. Feet about hip width or slightly wider than the hips. Release down. Going back into semi-supine, just becoming still for a moment. And then I'd like you to bring in some gear. So first of all, we're going to go with the easiest version of this. So I'd like you to go with the foam bricks, if you've got them, or equivalent. And then you're going to lift the pelvis. So we did this last week, and place the bricks underneath your buttocks, okay? Buttocks and sacrum, it's the back of the pelvis. So I'm now in a supported bridge, and I can take hold of the outer edge of the bricks, arms long, and there's a sense of rolling the upper arms out and opening the chest. From there, I'm going to project one leg at a time towards the vertical. So I'm in a Viparita Karani, half shoulder stand, halfway, projecting up through the legs. Should feel Like you've opened the legs with the standing poses, opening the feet. And then just see if you can settle into the work in the upper body. So to begin with, it might be helpful to take hold of the outer blocks, roll the upper arms out, but then you relax into the upper body, softening the upper body. It may even be preferable just to rest the hands onto the floor, have the arms quieter, and looking to just gently project up through the legs, keeping the legs gently poised over the hips. You will feel a stretch in the side of the neck, okay, so the neck is in flexion here, which will have the benefit of opening out the neck and shoulders. So one of the benefits of shoulder stand and its variations is to release the neck and shoulders. So long as you're doing it carefully, judiciously. And then from here, we can explore some variations here. So take one foot down again. So just one leg. Viparita Karani. And then from then you can extend that leg along the floor. So it's one leg towards the vertical, one leg extending along the floor. So you will open the front of the hip, the left thigh, if you've got your left foot down. Opening out the front of the left leg, with the left leg down, the right leg up. Okay, then bringing the left foot back to the floor, back up, and then right leg comes down. And then extend the right leg along the floor, okay? So you're projecting through the down leg, projecting out through the foot, opening the ankle, the Achilles. At the same time as projecting up through the upper leg. That can be quite a strong pose. Works into the hip flexors, front of the pelvis, front of the hip. And then from there, both feet down, we're coming back into a simple bridge, supported bridge. Lift your pelvis and release these foam bricks. Okay, so if you've got available a cork brick, I'd like us to repeat this. It's a little bit more intensive, but it's quite good to step up. This is the principle of vinyasa krama. So we step by step go a bit more intensively into the pose. So vinyasa is step, link step, and krama is phase or step. So vinyasa is link and krama is step, so link step. So I'm going to bring the cork brick now, or these sometimes can be hard foam bricks, underneath the sacrum. So you will feel pressure around the sacrum. Should feel like it's a relief for the sacrum. That's not the case, then just don't do this. And then we can interlace the fingers. The benefit of using the smaller brick is you can interlace the fingers underneath the body and project the backs of the hands away from you. Opening here the front of the pelvis, helping to decompress the lower spine. And then from there, we're going to project one leg up. So balance can be a bit of a trick here. So other leg coming up. Don't turn the head once you're up. See if you can find a comfortable position with the legs towards the vertical. And it's like the sacrum is plain, flat on the brick underneath you. If you prefer the palms down, or if you want interlacing the fingers. Opening the chest, neck long, neck being flexed here. projecting through the feet. Take a chance to look down through the legs towards the feet, opening the toes. And then just see if you can relax or release into the pose for like 5 or 10 breaths. Getting the benefit of the inversion pose. So now almost all of the body is above the height of the head. Head is below the heart, below the hips, below the legs. It can be restful for the circulation, restful for the body. Looking for a sense of being at ease in this pose. What do you need to do to be a little more restful? And when it's time to move on, you can release the hands and the legs, one leg at a time coming down, back into the supported bridge. Lifting the pelvis, releasing the block out of the way this time. Come back to the floor. And being still there for a moment in semi-supine. So from here, we're going to roll to one side. And I'd like you to come up to sitting. Take your legs wide. So we're going to come into a little finishing sequence here. We should feel fairly restful. So extending both legs out and wide into Upavista Konasana. We're going to extend the arms up. So we're coming back into the work in the legs, which we started the session with. Reach up and then reach forwards, allowing your body to release towards the floor. Just seeing where you come to. So you can keep the legs gently active. Sense of an even stretch on the inner legs, back of the body. It's a symmetrical pose, even though you may notice some tightness more in one hip than the other. Tuning in with the specific sensations in this pose. So I'm really feeling this around the backs of the legs, the thighs, inner legs, hips, and into the lower back. Just allowing your body to release forwards as much as it can without forcing. So supposedly a lot of the restriction here is psychological, yeah? So it's been shown, for example, when someone's under a general anesthetic, the body obviously goes completely lax and the legs can be bent in whichever direction they want to be. My mother was describing how when they did her hip operation, they bend the leg right up towards the head. Of course, she was under anesthetic. So it's like the body has the length, the physical length, but there's a sense of holding back and restricting, partly as a protective mechanism, so you don't come into a really deep forward bend. So we're protecting the structures around the hip and the lower back. But in reality, you could potentially fall completely to the floor. There's no physical restriction in most cases. Okay, and on the inhale, we're going to float back up. And I want you to bring your right leg up, your left leg in front of you and embrace your right shin.
I'm going to come into Marichyasana. I'm going to work into the hip rotator. So taking your right arm out and back, right hand you can use this as a support. The left hand comes forwards and wrap round the right leg, and then we're going to lift up and turn. So you could turn the gaze if you want. If you prefer doing this pose with the gaze to the side, that's fine, or forwards. Your left leg can be active, acting as an anchor. Breathing there, closing the eyes for a few breaths, looking for a sense of space in the chest, broadness across the shoulders, length in the spine. Relaxing the face and release. Release round and extend your right leg, bending the left leg. Maybe I should say, if you're finding it tricky to get a sense of height, you can always place one of these bricks or a cushion underneath the buttocks to lift up, get a sense more of vertical height with the brick there. Again, embrace your shin, left shin, take the left hand back this time, wrapping the right forearm around the thighs and turning away from the count of the spine. Hopefully the sound is coming across. My right leg is active and lengthening as I pull up through the spine, turning. Feel stretching the side body here. Marichyasana 3 and release back. From here, we're going to come down to the floor. Again, a pose which I'm including in my daily practice is like a movement for strengthening and releasing the outer hip rotators. So I quite like to do this with the hands placed around the back of the head, elbows wide. Take both legs to one side. And then there's a sense of kicking out the top legs. So kicking out on the inhale, exhale, fold. Keeping the knees separate. I can take the gaze opposite to the legs or up towards the ceiling. Elbows wide. So it's creating a sense of tone and strengthening in the side of the hip, side of the thigh, working down through tensor fascia lata, hip rotators. Should feel quite a satisfying lateral stretch for the leg. We can then extend, hold the foot there, turn the toes towards the ceiling. Holding that for a few breaths, sense of externally rotating the thigh, so you're really working into the left buttock. Head centered, elbows wide, and release. Okay, so I'm going to, just for the benefit of not having the wall there, I'm going to switch around. Do the same on the opposite side. So both legs come down, knees floating away from each other as I inhale, I kick out. Right leg, take the gaze to the right. Chest open, shoulders wide, elbows wide. Kicking out through your right thigh, thighs parallel. Should feel a really satisfying stretch through the lateral edge of your leg, keeping the leg there now. Starting turning the toes towards the ceiling. So really strong
external rotation, turning the toes towards the ceiling. Gaze could also go towards the ceiling or to the right. And release. Swing back to center. And I want you to roll up. And then we're just going to start some preparation for headstand. Okay, so we're not going to go into a full headstand. But I just want us to start working on this. So headstand, you need to be really careful with the neck because you're taking your weight into the crown. So all we're going to do is bring the forearms down, interlace the fingers. So you can really bring the outer edges of the wrist down, the ulnar points. These are the ulnar points here. It's the outer edge of the wrist. You really want to bring these down. Outer side of the foot, the hand, the fingers interlace. You need to hide one of your fingers. And you make a triangle shape onto the floor. Maybe it's better to show it this way. So I'm making like a triangle shape on the floor. And then I'm just going to bring the head down and just explore bringing weight into the forearms and into the crown of the head. So if you've got any neck issues, I really wouldn't do this pose. All right. If you've got any kind of neck injury, you can also bring the sides at the top of the head into the base of the thumb. Okay, so I'm pressing the sides of the head into the base of the thumb and bringing weight into the crown. And then I'll just explore bringing the feet up and walking the feet in and bringing weight into the top of the head, pressing through the forearms, and then release down. Take a rest. I'll just go through that again. Okay. Take a rest there. So you want weight going into the outer forearm, outer wrist, the ulnar point, as it's called, the outer hand. Both hands linked together to form a sense of a stable base. Forearms down, up, elbows about shoulder width. And then I'm bringing the edges of the head into the base of the thumb. And then bringing weight to the top of the head. And weight's going through the forearms as well as the head. I'd say most of the weight is going into the forearms and some weight into the head. Okay. And then you just explore bringing up your pelvis over the head, walking the feet in. Can adjust the head position. So you want weight going into the crown of the head. And then we can explore taking one foot up and then down, the other foot up and then down. So if you feel like it's too much weight into your neck, then really don't do this pose, okay? So release down again. Head releasing. And I think for this week, we're just going to leave it there, okay? So I'll come back to headstand next week. It's important to strengthen this sort of triangle between the forearm, upper arm, forearm, and shoulders before we start bringing our weight onto our head. So we're going to drop now into Shavasana. I've no idea what time it is. 10 past 8 over here. 10 past the hour. So setting yourself up for Shavasana. Bringing a bolster underneath your knees. Getting more warm clothing. Layering up. And I'll just lead into Shavasana and then close the class. Thank you very much for watching till the end of the video. Very strange not having an audience this week, a live audience. So just when you come down, remembering to carefully lower yourself into a straight line.
It's for the back of the head. Checking on your neck. We're going to come into these 5 aspects of awareness, which we started the session with. So first of all, becoming aware of the body in terms of specific sensations, which in the Satipatthana teaching, we talk about Vedana, sensations which are pleasant, neutral, or unpleasant. And becoming aware of the whole body, just like we're exploring the first and second foundation here. Becoming aware of the whole body, so you should feel like you've worked around the whole body. So we're emphasizing quite a bit standings at the beginning. Coming into awareness of the sense of your moods, chitta, heart, mind. And becoming aware of your experiences wanting change. See how your body's changed, experience of your body has changed. And being aware of the breath. So in this phase of the practice now, coming into really easeful breath, just letting your breath be completely free. Allowing the limbs to float away from the body, supported by the floor. And looking for a sense of pleasure, well-being in your experience. I'm going to suggest you stay here as long as you can, but particularly until you feel a sense of letting go, internal letting go. Thank you very much for your time, your attention, and see you next time. Farewell.